What if Robb Stark tried to ally with Stannis, not Renly? Let's explore the depths of it in the video. If this video gets 2500 likes, we'll make a part 2. Why shouldn't we rule ourselves again? It was the dragons we bowed to, and now the dragons are dead. There sits the only king I mean to bend my knee to, the king in the north. Robb watches as kneels before him, laying his sword at his feet. Before he can even comprehend what's happening, Lord joins him, followed by Mormont and others. Northmen and all begin to shout for the king in the north. The enormity of this movement is not lost on him. Those words haven't been uttered in almost 3 centuries, and to declare it now threatens to cross a line from which there is no return. Slowly, Robb rises to his feet and gestures for them to quiet down. My lords, the zeal is appreciated, as always, but I was given sage wisdom recently, that Tywin Lannister is not a foe to trifle with. We do not need bravery or bluster, but cool logic. Are we prepared to take this action? We knelt to the dragons, but they are all gone. But Stannis and Renly are fighting for the throne. If we declare independence, we will be making fools of them too, and I'd rather not face Lord Stannis. Stannis squats on, hardened but without an army. What do we have to fear? Only turning into. My father died defending Lord Stannis' claim. If we were to abandon that claim now, we would be betraying his memory. His words have the intended effect, as the cheering dies out completely. Instead, the lords quiet down and look at the ground. Robb takes this as leave to continue. Stannis has done me no wrong, and I can see no cause to abandon him now. So I say let us join our forces with him, and let us take the capital. We could not save my father, but we can at least ensure the rightful king sits on the Iron Throne. Though shamed a moment before, the lords now leap to their feet and raise their swords into the air, vowing to fight for the one true king. Ravens are soon sent out, proclaiming Winterfell and Riverron's loyalty to Stannis. Welcome news to the king, who is in a desperate search for allies. Despite his claim to the throne, few lords flock to Stannis' side. Even Davos's efforts to raise the end poorly. While some lords are open to supporting him, especially with his new allies in the north, the problem is that he is too late. Renly has already crowned himself and gained the support of the rich, making it difficult for them to openly back Stannis. This leaves him with no reinforcements to the south, putting him in a difficult position. Though he wishes to march to King's Landing immediately, they are in no position to do so. Most of Robb's army is still in the Riverlands, with Tywin preventing them from committing completely to an offensive. Instead, Stannis decides to sail to the Riverlands and add his strength to Robb's. But with Tywin squatting in, this proves more difficult than it looks. Most of the eastern coast of the Riverlands is controlled by Tywin, meaning a large landing will be contested, and Stannis simply doesn't have the army to face him in open battle. As he gathers his war council, different voices call for different actions. Your Grace, if I may suggest, though my fellow have declared for Renly, that was before your alliance. Sail south and confront them directly. Your presence may cause some lords to reconsider. I am certain I can convince my brother to cross his banners. Begging your pardon, but this is madness. What would they fear from our arrival? No, the young wolf has won his battles through boldness. Let it not be said his vessel was greater than a king. Sail to and crush the garrison there. That should put the fear of the stag in the lion. Your Grace, if I may, I think you are neglecting the elephant in the room, or should I say, the crab in the room. Pont may have a suitable landing. Though it is no major port, the Lannisters have no presence there, and its lords have declared for no king. We may perhaps raise an army there. Davos scoffs. Those people are and distrustful of outsiders. Should we land our forces there, we shall be slaughtered. And lawless too. The lands of that region belong to House, but they have refused to pay their taxes. Sometimes they send my collectors back in pieces. Claims of little merit, another interjects. Queen had granted that they only answer to the law. Sir Davos, I am the rightful king. Would you have me beg for my crown? Not beg, your grace. Rule. Davos's voice is firm. It is as you say, you are their sovereign. So show yourself to them, listen to their disputes, and ask for their aid. Show them that they are not beneath your notice. As you did to me, then you shall have their swords. Is that what you suggest? That I, your king, haggle with savages and listen to their grumbling? Enough. I shall consider all your proposals. With that dismissal, the lords all bow and depart. But soon, orders are sent out. Sir and Sir Richard are to land a small force on the mainland, consisting of cavalry and their job is to gather houses from the crownlands and raid those who have sworn allegiance to House Lannister. Stannis then sends his to raid. Soon enough, a small fleet of fishing skiffs and light galleys, led by Davos's oldest sons, lands on the shores, depositing nearly 1,000 crewmen and these rush through the lush plains of the crownlands, seizing loot, capturing light castles, and persuading some lesser lords to strike at him. Meanwhile, Seladior's son strikes a blockading it and taxing incoming ships, as well as burning those already at the harbor. Although small, these attacks are close enough to King's Landing to cause some panic within the court. They see these as shaping operations for Stannis to begin landing. They fear that he might try to capture to use as a landing ground for his troops. Joffrey responds by sending out men, gold cloaks, the royal fleet, and local lords to deal with these invaders and drive them back to the narrow sea. However, these moves don't amount to much, as there is never a major battle. While the chaos unfolds in the south, Stannis makes his move. A single galley, Ser Davos's ship, lands at Pont, accompanied by King Stannis and a contingent of his personal guard. Their goal is to rally the houses to Stannis's army. They move from village to village, calling upon the scattered lords of this isolated peninsula. At each stop, Stannis speaks to the lords and, with his same grim determination, laying out his claim to the Iron Throne and reminding them of their sworn oath. Fortunately, Ser Davos proves far more personable and skilled in reading men. By the time Stannis leaves Pont, his small army has grown. Though poor, the lords of these houses pledge themselves to help however they can. They send guides to help lead him through the shortest routes to the Riverlands, and hundreds pledge themselves to his cause. Before he leaves, he sends a raven to ruse Bolton with a plan, when that may change the course of the war forever. Low in the sky, a shadow slips into the Red Keep unseen by even the most vigilant guards. It moves with purpose, silent and deadly, until it reaches the royal apartments. There, it strikes down Joffrey Baratheon, his screams echoing across the room. Cersei rushes in and is thrown into hysterics, entering just as the shadow monster disappears. But the image of Stannis burns in her mind. She quickly rouses the guards to search for the beast, but at that moment, Stannis and his men charge as planned. With the guards in chaos, the fighting does not last long, and the defendants' morale collapses. They quickly seize the Red Keep, but Cersei manages to slip away with leaving the capital in Stannis' hands. But that still leaves Renly to deal with. His forces arrive days later and find the gates barred to them. Stannis buckles his troops down and prepares for a siege as Renly begins building siege equipment. Fortunately, Stannis' position is far stronger than Renly's. He has access to the sea, preventing Renly from simply starving him, since Stannis has no problem receiving supplies from the narrow sea. Now, it is simply a waiting game. Soon after, raids and skirmishes begin to prevent their troops from falling into boredom. They both launch probing attacks into each other's defenses. Renly regularly tries to strike at the walls, searching for any weaknesses. However, this proves to be more difficult than expected, as Stannis fortifies the place well. But even this is just a distraction. While Stannis holds the capital, Robb soon rides south with the Westerlands army under his control. No force can challenge him, so Robb leads a daring cavalry charge into the Reach, which is ripe for the picking. Though Mace Tyrell remains with his substantial garrison, it is not even a contest. Robb rides circles around the Olden Lord, dodging his forces and striking at the ripe farmlands and Enderman castles, much as the tried with the North. The difference is that the pickings here are much greater. Several castles fall in a matter of weeks, putting immense pressure on Renly, who now faces the grim realities of war, far from the exciting images that ran through his young knights' minds. It is grim, monotonous, and ugly. Soon, some of them begin to desert, searching for more action or simply to defend their homes. Although Tarly keeps the army together for a time, this cannot last forever, and something must break sooner or later between the two brothers. That's our theory. If you enjoyed this and wanted to see it continued, like the video. If it reaches 2500 likes, a part 2 will be made. Westeros is a land filled with exciting stories and possibilities, and we love exploring them. If you wanted to accompany us on this journey across the 7 kingdoms and beyond, then please like, share, and subscribe to our channel.